From The National, this is Trending Middle East. I'm Yasmin Al-Taji. It's Tuesday, April 22nd. Here are today's headlines. Pope Francis died at his residence in the Vatican on Monday. He led the Catholic Church since 2013 as the first Latin American to serve in the role. He was 88. He's remembered for his dedication to the poor, keen attention to interfaith fraternity, and impressing his own ideology on the church while upholding deep-rooted traditions. He was also eager to reach communities around the world, particularly in the Middle East. He marked Easter Sunday, his last public appearance, with a call for a ceasefire in Gaza, which he's repeated over the course of what is now 18 months of war.
Sono vicino alle sofferenze dei cristiani in Palestina e in Israele, così come a tutto il popolo israeliano e a tutto il popolo palestinese.
Francis toured areas of Iraq in a historic 4-day visit in 2021, not long after ISIS occupation. And he visited the UAE as part of the first papal visit to the Arabian Peninsula.
The news of Pope Francis's passing has been met with great sadness in the Arab world. This is a pope who went out of his way to build bridges around the world, but particularly paid attention to the Middle East.
The National's editor-in-chief Mina Al-Oraibi met Pope Francis on that visit in a private audience and attended his mass at the capital. Here she is with more.
Not only did he have a mass for 150,000 Catholics and others here in the UAE who attended his mass in Abu Dhabi's Zayed Sports City Stadium. That day was actually declared a public holiday in the UAE in order to allow workers from all different walks of life to have the day off to come to attend the mass. But he also had private audiences, and I was privileged to be one of those people who had a brief but important private audience with Pope Francis. He was delighted when he saw a copy of The National with a headline saying, "Welcome to the UAE." Here, importantly, in Abu Dhabi, Pope Francis joined the Grand Imam of Al-Azhar, Ahmed Al-Tayyib, and signed the Human Fraternity document. Importantly, in 2021, he became the first Catholic Pope to visit Iraq. And not only did he go to Ur, which was the place of birth of the Prophet Abraham, but importantly, he went to visit Mosul, which had been devastated by ISIS. Mosul is really the home of Christianity in Iraq. It was a great moment of celebration in Iraq. He visited a number of cities, including Baghdad and Erbil, but it was really his presence in Mosul when too many people had been frightened to go back to the city, particularly Christians who had been driven out by ISIS, to go there and say this is a moment of renewal.
Pope Francis spoke regularly against conflict around the world, and in December 2024, used his Christmas address to highlight the plight of the Palestinian people in the besieged Gaza Strip. Throughout much of the war between Israel and Hamas, he made frequent phone calls to the Holy Family Church in Gaza City to ask after the welfare of Christians taking refuge there.
He has played an important role in calling for peace in Gaza. He's been very clear, calling the devastation there cruelty, not war. He's been a true advocate of peace, but also an advocate for migrants and refugees at a time where in Europe they had become more and more rejected, and it was a huge problem. And yet he called for the importance of accepting others, accepting migrants and refugees at a time of political tensions. He'll be remembered greatly as the first Pope of the Catholic Church to visit the UAE, Bahrain, Iraq, but importantly, he will also be remembered as a Pope for peace.
U.S. airstrikes on the Yemeni capital of Sanaa killed at least 12 people and wounded 30 overnight into Monday. That's according to Yemen's Houthi-run health ministry. The attack comes as part of an intensifying American bombing campaign against the rebels. The Houthis' Saba news agency quoted the ministry as saying the airstrikes hit a market and a residential zone in the capital's Farwa district. That area has been attacked before by Washington. U.S. operations in Yemen came into the spotlight when a journalist was inadvertently added to a group chat with National Security Council members detailing attack plans. This week, new reports said Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth posted detailed plans about a military operation against the Houthis in Yemen on a second Signal group chat, this one on his personal phone and including his wife, lawyer, and brother. The Abu Dhabi National Oil Company, or Adnoc, has signed new supply agreements with Chinese companies. It's a move indicative of strengthening economic ties between the UAE and the world's second largest economy. As part of the 15-year contract with a unit of CNN natural gas, Adnoc will supply up to 1 million tons of liquefied natural gas annually to the Chinese private company. That's according to state news agency WAM, quoting a statement from Adnoc. This is the largest liquefied natural gas supply agreement to be signed between the UAE and a Chinese partner. It's a step forward for China as it looks to diversify its LNG imports. Australia, Qatar, and Russia, as well as Malaysia and the US, were biggest suppliers of LNG to China last year. This new agreement came during the visit of Dr. Sultan Al-Jaber, Minister of Industry and Advanced Technology and Managing Director and Group Chief Executive of ADNOC, to China last week. That's all for this morning's headlines. You can get these stories and follow live updates at our site. Yasmin Al-Taji, The National.